Hello, everyone, and welcome to another segment of Mind Your Business. My name is Gabriel Castillo, Corporate Marketing Director at IBC Bank, welcoming you to our show today. We have a very special guest today who's going to share a lot of information about a very important group here in Laredo. And it's an important group because they are really the movers and shakers in various capacities within our community. Please help me welcome Rogelio Treviño. Thank you for being here with us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Gabriel.
No, it's a pleasure to have you here. You know, the more I learn about Rotary Clubs, and that's what we're talking about today, the more intrigued I am by all of the work that you all do. And the more you share, it's like, I can't believe there's so many things happening. Tell us about the origins, if I'm putting you in a spot, about Rotary. I want people to learn a little bit more about where it started and how it started.
No, definitely. Yeah, Rotary is actually was comprised by a group of professionals back in 1905, started in Chicago, Illinois, by a gentleman by the name of Paul Harris. He was the originator. He was the one with the first vision, the thought. And Mr. Harris brought together three of his close friends. They were all business professionals. They all had their own businesses. They were all doing well in Chicago. They were successful. But Mr. Harris believed that when you had individuals that have those type of skills, that have already succeeded pretty much in their business and are doing well, that they have so many skills that they can share and work together to be able to help others, to be able to help their communities. And that was the original concept. He brought together those three friends. They met, they met in his office in 1905 in Chicago, and they started talking about forming this group. They were all, like I said, they had different occupations, different vocations, but they all had different levels of expertise and different levels of experience in what they did. So they knew they had a lot of resources that they could bring together to be able to help communities, to be able to help individuals that needed the help. So that was the where it started, pretty much.
Right.
And yeah, they started saying, well, let's meet at your office and let's meet at this office. They started moving around.
Right.
And they started rotating their meetings. And
Hence,
that's where the name comes, Rotary,
Club, yeah.
because they were rotating their meetings. But that's where it all started, actually.
Oh, interesting. And then Paul Harris being the founder of this, there is an award named after Paul Harris, right, which is, I guess, acknowledges someone every year who meets those merits, those standards?
Yeah, being a Paul Harris, it's called a fellowship, actually. You become a Paul Harris Fellow, but you can be awarded the fellowship. It is actually, we have a Rotary Foundation where those funds are donated directly to the foundation, and those are the funds that are used to give out to, as far as grants all around the world to help people in all the different areas that we can offer. But when you give up to $1,000, and you can give them in the name of an individual or give them yourself, then you are awarded a Paul Harris Fellowship for donating that first $1,000 to the foundation. And in occasions, for example, here in Laredo, we have our Paul Harris dinners where we recognize community leaders here, and our clubs will donate those $1,000 in somebody's name, and we award them with a Paul Harris Fellowship.
Yeah.
But it's all going towards the Paul Harris Foundation, which are then used to give out grants to Rotary Clubs around the world.
To help so many worthy causes, because I know you all do a lot of efforts on the community-wide effort. Besides that, I would want to also ask you, how many clubs are there in Laredo? I'm not going to ask you to name them all because I might put you on the spot, but how many clubs are there and how many members can you tell me how many members we have overall here in Laredo?
Yes, here in Laredo, we actually have 5 Rotary Clubs. They all meet on different days of the week, different times of the week, and it's pretty much focused because we know that we're all professionals and we all have our own different occupations, we're all involved. Many of us are already have been in business for many years. Many of us are getting started in business. We have some that are just students that are still getting through their education. So that is the reason why we have different clubs with different time slots. Some of them meet Mondays at noon, Wednesdays at noon, Thursday evenings. We have a Friday morning breakfast club that meets at 7:30 in the morning. So it works out to where individuals are able to work their schedules that join those clubs to be able to meet them. But we have 5 clubs in Laredo.
5 clubs.
And total Rotarians, we have about, right now in Laredo, close to 250.
Oh, wow, that's great. And so, of course, I know as a bank, we encourage our officers and our employees to be a part of Rotary. We think that's one of the most important organizations to belong to. So we encourage that. And I know a lot of people, when they, like you just mentioned, people who get started, people who have been in business forever, are all members of that. There is a networking opportunity there as well from a business standpoint. And I think that's probably part of it, is that you come together, because I mean, we have organizations that are several banks, several organizations, architects, whatever, you know, but this is one place where everyone joins and puts their efforts as a group. And I think that's what's very important. Can you tell our viewers how they can become a part of it if they want to become a part of Rotary?
Yes, most definitely. Actually, to become a Rotarian, you have to be invited by the Rotary Club itself, and then there is a process where you submit an application, and then the board of directors considers you. And again, we're looking for individuals that are, that are able to contribute back to the community. Individuals that are, in many cases, already professionals that are already working, or individuals that are going into a different profession and are ready to contribute back to the community. But it is a process where you can reach out. They can reach out to us, reach out to me, and we can direct them to the different clubs, and they can visit. I highly encourage that you visit the clubs because, as I mentioned, we have different time slots, we have different days of the week, but every club has its own personality.
Oh, totally.
You know,
yeah,
every club has its own personality. The Laredo Rotary Club, which is my club, the one we meet Wednesdays at noon at the Palenque Grill on San Bernardo, and that is our meeting spot, and we have around 70 members in our club alone. But, you know, we've kind of developed a personality. Our club is well known. We are the longest established club in Laredo. We're 120 years old in
Which
Laredo.
club is this?
The Laredo Rotary Club.
Okay, Laredo Rotary.
Yeah, we're 105 years old. I'm sorry, 105 years old. But we've got individuals who have been in the club for long periods of time. We have a club that's called the Next Generation Rotary Club. Those are younger individuals. They meet on Thursday nights at Playmore, and they have a meeting room there, but they are very young and energetic, and those are very involved in community service projects.
Yeah.
And like I say, every club has its own personality.
Totally.
So I encourage individuals, if you're interested, reach out to us, and we can guide you to visit all those clubs. I really want everybody to visit, and they can see which meets their niche. You know, where they feel
So
comfortable.
Consider your diet, consider your stamina. Those things have to come into play. If you like Palenque Grill, consider the Laredo Club.
Yeah.
That's your favorite restaurant. I think that's wonderful because I think it's very important that people become a part of something. And you know, one thing that when you're starting a business, and I think our audience knows this, you want to hit a network. It's like almost like going to a beehive, and you have all the bees together. You know, you want all the busy bees, hopefully, that are in business. And I think that's a great place. I know that's where I started with Seven Flags way back in the day. And I think that's where I met a lot of people, did a lot of things, and learned a lot.
Right.
A lot about what I was doing. So with that said, I want to talk about a little bit more about this and your nonprofit work when we come back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more on Rotary Clubs in Laredo.
Why pay a monthly fee? Free checking at IBC.
Today, we're teaching the children to save.
IBC Bank teaches children to save. At IBC Bank, we believe financial education starts early. That's why we're bringing fun, interactive learning straight to the classroom. From hands-on workbooks to exciting prizes, our financial literacy sessions teach students how to make smart money moves they'll carry for life. Want your school to be part of the fun? Contact IBC Bank today and schedule your free financial literacy class.
At Gray Digital Media, we develop the right message to grab attention and drive leads with custom strategies designed to grow your brand across the streaming apps you know best. Cutting-edge digital strategies backed by local expertise to connect you with new customers right here in Laredo and wherever your audience is. We'll get results that matter to you and your business. Gray Digital Media. We know local. Let's connect today. GDMSouthTexas.com.
Welcome Welcome back to another segment of Mind Your Business. Today we're having a very intriguing conversation with our good friend Rogelio Treviño, who today is representing the Rotary Clubs of Laredo. And I want to know a little bit more. We talked about earlier about your governor nominee position. Tell me about that part in a nutshell.
Well, I am extremely honored. I have been selected to serve as the governor nominee for District 5930 here in Texas. And that position actually came about because of the years that I have in Rotary and the experience. I just hit my 10th anniversary as a Rotarian. But I was very fortunate that the Laredo Rotary Club offered me a lot of opportunities to grow immediately. I got very engaged with the club and got active in the community, serving in community service projects, serving with other community partners in alliances, and also helping our businesses, because Rotary is very, very big on economic development, on literacy projects. So I got very involved in that because it aligned a lot with my personal experience as a workforce development director. So I've been very fortunate that I've been able to grow within Rotary pretty quickly. And I've had some great mentors. A lot of the individuals that serve there that are members of Laredo Rotary, plus members of the other clubs, the Laredo Daybreak Rotary Club, Laredo Gateway, they all have a lot of experience and knowledge, and they've been, thing about Rotarians, we're all family, we're all friends, and we help each other out. So I've learned a lot from them. And I got the opportunity then to serve as a president of our club a few years after I had joined the club. And then after I served as president, I had served very closely with, Ms. Lupita Cepeda.
Yes,
she was our assistant governor when I was the president of the club. So when she was finishing her term, she talked to me and she said, Rogelio, would you be interested in being considered to be an assistant governor? And I said, pues I'm not sure if I can do it. And she said, you can, you've got the potential and this and that. So she worked with the district and she recommended me. I spoke with the governor at the time, and they basically elected me to serve as assistant governor. So I served as assistant governor the last 4 years.
That's great.
And basically what that is I worked with all the clubs in Laredo, providing support, providing guidance as a liaison between the district and the clubs. Yeah. Now, in my 4th year, I've been working very closely with the governor that was there, Dr. Sarah Serrani. She has been instrumental in my growth in Rotary. She's a fantastic mentor. And she talked to me a lot, and she said, Rogelio, you have the potential to be a governor. And I said, I don't know about that. And she talked to me, and she encouraged me. And then I talked to all my Rotarian friends here in Laredo, and they all felt I could do a good job. Yeah. So I submitted my nomination, my application.
Right.
I threw my hat in the ring, and I was considered. It is an interview process. There's a review process. There's a district advisory committee that does the evaluation. And I was selected. I was nominated. So now I'm serving as a district governor nominee.
Now comes the good stuff, right? Now comes getting that work done. And part of that work is basically all the projects that you all undertake on the various committees. I want to talk a little bit about Rotaract. You talked about Rotaract, and Interact is the other.
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about those two organizations and how they work with and collaborate with your Rotaries.
Yeah, well, one of the areas of focus of Rotary is education, literacy, and supporting our youth. And so we do have these components that are under Rotary. The Rotaract component is actually working with young adults that are individuals between 18 and 35, pretty much. The majority of the Rotaract programs are done at the college level. You work with students that are in the college. It can be done community-wide. It doesn't have to be at a college. Here in Laredo, we have a Rotaract in alignment with Texas A&M International University.
That's great.
And so we have students that are there at the university, but they join what's called Rotaract. And they're learning all about Rotary. They're doing service projects. They're getting involved in the community. They are under the sponsorship of the Laredo Rotary Club, that particular Rotaract club. And so we support them, we guide them, we work with them, but they are doing service projects and learning all about Rotary just as the adults are.
And tell me one thing, because I know Rotary has membership fees, right? Membership dues. So, I mean, I'm going to be totally transparent and share that. Is there the same concept for Rotaract?
There is, but it is minimal because, again, Rotary knows that when you're at certain stages of life, you have certain levels of income, right? And so every club sets their own pretty much fees or their own registration fees and their annual fees. A lot of it is based on the fact that our clubs have to pay dues to Rotary International, the worldwide organization.
Right.
So those dues come from the fees that Rotarians pay.
Right.
So that's where our fees come in. So Rotaractors also do pay a small fee. It's minimal. Off the top of my head, I want to say it's less than $25 a year.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
well,
it's
that's very
minimal.
good. So that gives them an opportunity. And of course, if you're an organization, you could probably be a sponsor for the Rotaract or come in and help them out and sponsor that. Now, the other thing I was going to talk about is talking about nonprofits. Your status as a Rotary Club, is it a 501c3 or 501c4? Or what?
Actually, Rotary Clubs, our Rotary Club is a 501c4.
Yeah.
We're not a C3. And most of Rotary, the District 5930 is also a 501c4.
Yeah.
Now, we do have foundations that
Right.
receive the funds, and those are 501c3s, where
Okay.
people can make the donations directly to the
Sure.
foundations
Yeah.
for tax purposes.
Yeah, and that's what comes into play for a lot of businesses as well. They want to support something, but of course they want their tax deduction whenever it's possible. And then within the Rotary Clubs, I know that you all focus on a lot of projects. Can you tell me it's one of those projects that stands out that you may want to share with our audience to get more support?
Oh yeah, definitely. Every club kind of sets, and we talked about clubs have personalities, and so yeah, clubs set their goals, their visions. As we have some clubs that focus a lot on the education of our youth, and they work. You know, we can apply for district grants and get funding, and then also get sponsorships, do fundraisers, and those dollars that we bring in, we use them to create service projects. We have some that focus to help our educational entities, our school districts. We help elementary schools, we help middle schools, and we know that there are some areas here in Laredo where some of our schools are in lower level income areas of town and stuff, so some of those may need other or more assistance in some of the other school districts. So yeah, we work a lot on doing projects for students in the school districts.
Well, I want to talk a little bit more about that when we come back. We're going to be sharing some more information on Rotary Clubs and really the important impact they're making on this community and every community throughout the world. Really, it's a worldwide organization. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
KGNS aims to inspire, uplift, and unite our community while showcasing the incredible acts of heroism and leadership that happen right in our backyard. Show us your community spirit. Together, we can empower others and celebrate those who make our hometown a better place to live in. Join us every fourth Tuesday of the month to recognize the drive and commitment from citizens making a change. KGNS Honors, only on KGNS News.
Today, we're teaching the children to save.
IBC Bank teaches children to save. At IBC Bank, we believe financial education starts early. That's why we're bringing fun, interactive learning straight to the classroom. From hands-on workbooks to exciting prizes, our financial literacy sessions teach students how to make smart money moves they'll carry for life. Want your school to be part of the fun? Contact IBC Bank today and schedule your free financial literacy class.
Welcome back to another segment of Mind Your Business. We're about to wrap this up, but not without getting some more information from our special guest, Mr. Rogelio Treviño, who wears several hats as many community leaders do. I know you're tell us about your first job, first of all. It's director of?
of the Workforce Solutions for South Texas.
Okay, for South Texas. So that's your main role, right?
That's my real
That's your
job.
bread and butter. And then comes your wonderful work that you're doing with the Laredo Rotary Club. That's a club that you
Right, I
became a
remember
member.
that.
You've been there for 10 years. And you know, although 10 years seems like a long time, and it doesn't seem like a long time because you kind of went on the fast track, and I think you went full force helping and being a part of the organization, which is wonderful because I know a lot of people have to make time for that.
Yeah.
And it is time consuming, but I think we look to our business leaders and our business people to get involved, whatever level they can. I think the Rotary Clubs are always very amicable to people's schedules and what they can and cannot do. And you have, I think the meetings are weekly.
It
In
varies.
some?
Some
Yeah.
are weekly, some are bi-weekly.
So you should look into that too. What's your schedule like? Well, you're going to be able to participate on a weekly basis or a monthly basis because along the way, you also do a lot of for the community. And I know that helping our communities, especially in South Texas, is so important because we have a predominantly low to moderate income demographic that we have to address. And I think your organizations, all the Rotary Clubs, do what they can in that area. Is there anything specific that's happening in the next few months that you all are focused on that you think would resonate with our audience?
Yes, most definitely. We have one of the clubs that's kicking off their big service project is the Laredo Next Generation Rotary Club. And again, I'm fortunate that I get to serve as a district governor nominee. I get to work with all the clubs. So the Next Generation Rotary Club is having their big annual fundraiser, which is called the Rota Run. I think you may have heard of it. Most
yes,
people
yes,
have heard of the Rota Run. But they raise quite a bit of funds there, but they put those monies back into scholarships. They create scholarships for our youth, and they also create service projects. The Next Generation works very closely with our veterans population.
Oh, wow.
They just recently finished refurbishing those wooden ramps for the wheelchairs.
Yes.
And they work with veterans serving the need. I think you know
Yes.
Ms. Gigi Ramos, right?
Yes.
Well, their ramp was pretty dilapidated, and the veterans were having trouble bringing their wheelchair out. So our Next Generation Rotary Club actually used funds that they raised to service and rebuild those ramps. And those are the type of projects that we have upcoming this year again, going back to serving our veterans, serving our youth through scholarships. We've got another club that is getting school supplies and backpacks and just recently met at the Larga Vista Community Center with Commissioner Wawi Tijerina, who is a Rotarian from Daybreak Rotary.
Oh, wow.
And they brought in backpacks and school supplies for all the children of that
great.
neighborhood. So those are all the projects that we have ongoing throughout this year. It's a lot of projects for our youth and for our students.
And you know, I think that these are wonderful projects, and I think that, you know, it requires what we call a village, right, of people to come together to help out. And of course, that village is comprised of business people, mostly, because I know that there were people that, I mean, when I was in my club in Seven Flags, there was housewives, there were teachers, there were people that were retired, that just wanted to be a part of something because they had retired, they wanted to do something, you know, productive in the community. So there's no limitations, really, right, to the club. And I think overall, the club is also a good place to network. Let's talk a little bit about the networking, because part of our show and what we talk about is how this benefits our business people as well. And I think through this camaraderie that you all seem to build, it unites you. I saw the group that we had at the bank the other day, and it's just like everyone just really works together very well.
Yeah, that's the beauty, and I've seen that as Rotarians, you become a family. You really do become a family. And, you know, I encourage all Rotarians, always wear your pins, your Rotary pins, because people will know you are a Rotarian and you are part of that family. Around the world, there are 1.2 million Rotarians. And like you say, all those 1.2 million Rotarians, they all come from different walks of life. Professionals, retired individuals, housewives, but everybody brings something to the table. And when we're at a Rotary Club, we have so much networking, and we're always talking about, this is what I'm doing in my business, or this is what my business is doing. Or we bring in guest speakers to our Rotary meetings. We bring in speakers that talk about things that are going on in the communities, things that are going on around the world, and what's needed in our community. community. And so as Rotarians, we can always use those meetings that we have to network and to see how we can bring our resources together to be able to serve our communities.
And you know, it's so funny because, well, not funny, but ironic. I have a friend we call her a hardcore Rotarian because she really, really is, and she lives in Austin, Texas. Long story short, she was traveling to Europe, and she actually found a restaurant that had a Rotary sign that said, "We meet here, blah, blah, blah." Well, she didn't want to miss her meeting because her meetings were monthly, but she was going to miss her meeting. So she actually went in, inquired, and she went to the meeting there. And she made good friends.
Yeah.
And, you know, she said, I still keep in contact with most of them after the fact because they found out she was from the States and from Texas. And they talked about Texas. They were fascinated by Texas, by a Texan.
That's the beauty when we travel and things like sometimes we'll look up, you know, with the cities we're going to or whatever, where do those Rotary clubs meet? Because we can then visit that club, and like as I mentioned, we're a family, so we attend that meeting and we're part of the group immediately. People know you're a Rotarian, they know you have the same values, they know that you're there about serving, and so you are welcome at all those meetings. The other thing that we see is that Rotarians are there to help immediately.
Yeah.
We've had individuals traveling that have a flat tire or an emergency or whatever. You reach out to somebody who knows a Rotarian in that area, they're there to help you. Immediately, we're there to help each other.
Yeah.
And those are true stories that have happened. We've had people that have been traveling, had emergencies in other parts of the country or around the world, and they will be helped by other Rotarians.
And from a business perspective, I also know for a fact that some of them have had problems with, for example, a friend of mine was building a part of their business, expanding it to another city. And when she got to the other city, she really didn't know where to start with the permits. And so someone said, "Well, find out if there's someone from Rotary that maybe can help you with." Lo and behold, they put it on the fast track. They knew who to call. They knew what to do. They put appointments for her, and it was wonderful. You know, so she's that's another hardcore Rotarian. She's like, "Oh, I totally believe in it. I do a lot for the cause, but they also do a lot for us." Yeah. So, gosh, I wish we could go on forever talking about this because there's so many things going on. But I do appreciate the time that you've offered us, and more than anything, I want everyone to know that there's an opportunity for you to be a part of Rotary, for you to be a part of change in Laredo, because I think we've evolved and we've gone through so many changes, but one thing remains constant, your four-way test.
The four-way test, that was actually created by a businessman that helped a business that was not doing well.
And what is it? Tell me real quick.
The four-way test is of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, is it beneficial to all concerned?
Exactly.
And now we've added a fifth one, which is it fun? We always want to have fun. But that was created by a businessman to help his business actually grow and better.
Well, that's a perfect way to wrap up the show because this was fun. We had a good time. Thank you so much for being with us. And thank you all for also tuning into our show. Remember to follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, even on Pinterest. So go to IBC We Do More and follow us, and you're going to get to see more of the shows and all the other shows that we've been putting on for you for Mind Your Business. In the meantime, enjoy, and remember that at IBC Bank, your prosperity is our priority. Thank you for joining us.